Welcome back to our DIY portion of our Apps Family Adventure. And this is the off-grid solar energy that we have, and that was just an inverter kicking on. But I'm going to run a test today of our 240 volt dryer, electric dryer, off in this 40 kilowatt battery power wall that I have mounted here. And I'm not going to use the auxiliary charger or nothing. This is just off in what sun we have today, which is partly cloudy, and the amps have been just fluctuating radically. So that's why I want to do this test and to see how many volts it uses over the period of the drying cycle. So I'm not going to make this any more long-winded, and I've already given an explanation of most of this stuff. These are two 5,000 watt inverters, Ames inverters, heavy duty industrial strength, and these are 120 volt outputs. So I'm going to do a time lapse on this so that you can actually see the amps coming in and the fluctuation of it. So I think that'll be a good test to show everybody. So let me get this on time lapse. I'm gonna start up my Victron BMS board app that I have on my phone. I'm gonna put that with this so that we get a good look at how the power is being used and what's coming in. So let's get started. All right, now that we've finished the complete drying cycle of the 240 volt electric dryer off these two 120 volt inverters, I just want to recap the drying cycles, the volume of laundry, and the volts used. So first, the drying cycles, I did 2 drying cycles. I did a 30-minute drying cycle, and I did a 40-minute drying cycle. So altogether, that was 70 minutes on the complete drying cycle. And the BMS readings that I posted with this was in the start, and the second one was just before the cool down cycle of the dryer on the first drying cycle. And then the third BMS was on the tail end of the last drying cycle, 40-minute drying cycle. So then we're moving on to laundry. The volume of laundry that I had was sweaters, jeans, sweatpants, towels, mostly all heavy stuff. So that's why it took such a long time, 70 minutes. And our dryer is about 5 years old. So you imagine if you were using that on an electric grid, that would run right up there pretty good. The third thing is the volts that we used. The volts that we used was 1.8 volts. That's not bad, considering we had power coming in. I could have averaged that out, but I don't think that would have been a fair average, because we started out right around 50, or it started out at 17 amps or 15 amps. Then it went up to 50, and then it went back down to 9, between 9 and 8, 7 amps, and that stayed that way for the last 40 minutes of the dry cycle. So I don't think that would be a very good average. But yeah, overall it was a good test. You don't have to go buy a brand new washer and dryer. I'm going to get a gas one, and we'll be able to run that all the time. And like I said, if I filled this all out, added 2 more inverters, I could just run that without having to worry about anything. But I try to keep my batteries topped up pretty much in case we do really get some cloudy days, or like last month, it seemed like it was a whole month of cloudy days. I did run my backup charger for quite a while that whole month. In fact, I used 400 kilowatts of grid power. And that's not my objective. My objective is to try to use as less as possible of that. And I don't have a problem using grid or generator or solar, It's just, I'm not the government. I'm not going to be particular about, well, gas is better or electric or solar energy is better. I believe there are resources and we should be able to utilize them. So with that, I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to ask, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to subscribe to this channel, subscribe to it. And if you think somebody else would be interested in it, share it. But I have more projects coming up. I have my build for my solar arches. That's going to be coming up here next week after this one. And I've got a bunch more that, in fact, this is a dump switch on this charge controller. And I was going to dump it back into the grid, but I decided to do something else. I found something else I want to do that I believe will save me a lot more money and be more efficient. So if you'd like to see that, again, hit that subscribe button. And I thank you and wish you a happy new year, and hope your 2023 is prosperous.